So in this situation we have a top plate we can go into, so we're going to go 1 inch down is the standard installation practice for the G channel. I'll lift this up here and show you that. We've already pounded our aluminum flashing, which was behind the ledger, up to get us up there. So we're basically 1 inch down there, which is going to let us attach to that top plate. Now we'll take this back down. Let's say you didn't have a top plate there and you were concrete all the way up to the bottom of the ledger. You can either go into the concrete, or to make it easier on yourself, attach a 1x to the bottom of the joist and then attach your G channel fastened like this to the 1x. Before you install your G channel, we're going to put a nice thick bead of butyl-based caulk on the back of this to avoid any water getting back here. Okay, so the G channel and the side cap parts, when they come out of Quality Edge, they have this protective film on them so they don't get scratched while they're on the job site or while they're in the box. So this does need to be removed before you install the part. Comes off really easily. Just pull it back. You're good to go. Alright, so what I've set up here is, since I don't have a brake on site, I'm just using another piece of side cap which has a straight line to make this cut in my side cap. I just used Sharpie, and I actually just made that line right on top of the plastic. That works as well. I'm cutting my side cap so it fits inside the section of the deck I needed to fit in, and I've determined my start line and my end line for a slope, and I'm just using this as a straight line to make that cut. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is make a 45-degree miter on my G channel in that back corner there, so the other piece of G channel can tuck inside there. Okay, so now we have our G channel, we have our bird's beak cuts to make a seam in the end of this, which will show you against the wall. Now I'm just going to show you, before you put this up, apply caulk to the back side of the G channel where it meets the wall. Now this isn't perfectly color matched caulk, but ideally, if it's done correctly, this caulk won't be seen. But this is creating a seal between the wall and the G channel, so any water that hits here goes into the system. So what I like to do is start at the top here. Just get a nice thick bead. Alright, so we've got the G channel caulked, ready to go up, so we're just going to walk up these ladders and set it into place. Alright, so we're in this corner here. We have this first piece of G channel up, which we just showed you. We had that bead of butyl-based caulk on the back of it, and what we've done is snug it up pretty close to the inside corner here. This is a little unique situation because we have a little concrete bump, but the nice thing is, since there's an extended length of metal on the top of the G channel, all we need to do is make sure that water that's dropping in here is pitched this way, and then the piece that meets it at the miter will add even more of an extension of metal. So any water coming this way is going to be pitched going right into the system. So even though we have a little bit of a gap back here, we have that aluminum flashing up top, which is directing all the water this way. Wouldn't hurt if you thought you needed to add a little bit of caulk up there. So because we had a top plate here we could go into, we've attached the G channel with screws into the lumber of the top plate. Now I'm going to, just for a little extra measure, drill a hole in the concrete with a Tapcon bit and put 2 Tapcons in the G channel also. The flathead Tapcons are helpful because then you don't have anything interfering in the backside of the G channel where the panels are going to snug up against. Okay, so again, this is a unique situation, but what we have here is our G channels coming into the corner. We're already attached. We mitered this G channel at 45. So again, I have the cut facing the house so that the cut end's not facing out. We'll touch that up with paint. We have a nice clean miter here. Over here we have what we have called the bird's beak cuts. These are tabs we've bent in so it will tuck inside the side cap. You can do this with side cap and G channel. In this situation it just worked best to use a little piece of G channel to come across and meet this. So I'm going to join these together. Okay, so we forced this together. Bird's beak's in there. You know, you can just eyeball your pitch there. Obviously we've got a steep slope started, but we're gonna move this up a little bit. And then I'm gonna caulk all along back here just to get a good seal there. All right, so what I'm doing here is bending all the top of the G channel down like I was explaining, so we're pushing all this water into the system.